Hello everyone, you are welcome to Mathematics Tour. This is the Cambridge IGCSE Mathematics paper 4-2 written in October-November 2025. There are 21 questions in this paper. These are some formulas that can help you while solving some questions in this paper. Let's get started. Write the ratio 60 grams to 3 kilograms in the form 1:n. So the first thing we need to do is to have the two quantities in the same unit. So the first one is in grams, while the second one is in kilograms. So that will be 60 grams ratio. Then we need to convert 3 kilograms to grams. So that will be 3,000 grams. Okay, now that we want to have it in this form of 1:n, so we need to divide both sides by 60. Okay, so by 60 grams. Okay, so that will leave us with 1. Then ratio 3,000 divide 60, that gives 50. So this would be 1:50. So which is 1:n. That implies n equals 50. So we have 50 here. Question 2. Solve 8x minus 17 equals 27. Okay, so we can easily add 17 to both sides. Okay, so that will be add 17, add 17. So this will eliminate this. So we're left with 8x equals 27 plus 17. Okay, that gives 44. So you divide both sides by 8. So x equals 5 whole 4 over 8. And you could go further to simplify 4 out of 8. So that will be 5 whole 1 out of 2. So this will be the final answer. Question 3. Write down the order of rotational symmetry of a regular decagon. So any regular shape has the order of rotational symmetry to be the number of sides. So since a decagon has 10 sides and it is a regular decagon, that implies the order of rotational symmetry equals the number of equal sides. So that will be 10. Question 4. Pedro makes cards. He makes cards at a rate of 9 cards every 20 minutes. Work out the number of cards he makes in 8 hours. So you can look into this question, or you can approach this question by using ratios or proportions. So it depends on you. So you can say 9 cards implies 20 minutes. 20 minutes to an hour, it will be 20 divide 60. Okay, so that will be 1/3 hour. Okay, so this is for 9 cards. Okay, then 1 card, okay, C represent card here. Okay, implies we need to 1/3. So we divide by 9. So when we divide 1/3 by 9 is the same as multiplying by 1/9. So which implies 1/27. So it means 1 card implies 1/27 hour. Okay, so work out the number of cards he makes in 8 hours. So this is interesting now. So 1 card implies 1/27 hour. Okay, so how many cards in 8 hours? Okay, so you just have to cross multiply now. So this will be 8 times 1 equals 1/27 times x. So you divide both sides by 1/27. So this actually will give us 8 multiplied by 27. Okay, so if you cross multiply, so the final answer is 216 cards will be produced in 8 hours. Let's go to part B. Each card costs 12 cents to make. Pedro sells each card for 50 cents. Work out his percentage profit on each card. Okay, so the percentage profit, the formula, okay, is pretty easy. So percentage profit equals the profit made, okay, over the actual cost price. So let's say CP for the cost price, okay, then multiplied by 100%, right? Okay, so we know that the cost price is 12 cents. So first we need to find the profit. So the profit is gonna be the selling price minus the cost price, which is 50 minus 12. So the profit is 38, okay, divide the cost price is 12, multiply 100%, okay, so this gives 316.7% approximately. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Question 5. Noah is buying a phone. One website sells the phone for 953 yuan. A different website sells the same phone for $141. The exchange rate is 1 yuan to $0.152. Okay, so calculate the difference between these phone prices. Give your answer in dollars, correct to the nearest cent. Okay, so for the first website, okay, so the price is 953 yuan, right? So that is for the first from the first website. So which we need to convert to dollars because we need to correct our answer to the nearest cent. Okay, dollars. We need to correct our answer, okay, in dollars. Okay, correct to. We need to leave our answer in dollars, correct to the nearest cent. Okay, so what we can easily do here is to convert this one using you can use ratio. So you can say that yuan, okay, like this, ratio dollars, right? So that will be 1 to 0.15, 0.1, 0.152. So as given here, right? So we need to know how many dollars is 953 years. So ask yourself, what was done to one to get this? So multiply by 953. So you multiply this side by 953, and this gives $144.86. So it means 953 yuans equals $144.86. That is $144.86, right? Now, another website, okay, sells the same phone for $141. So let's find the difference now. So the difference is gonna be $144.86 minus $141. So this will be 3.86. That is $3.86. So $3.86. Pretty easy, right? Question 6. One morning, a dentist has appointment for 10 patients. The stem and leaf diagram shows the waiting time for each of these patients. As you can see from the stem and leaf diagram, the times for the two other patients, P and Q, are not shown in the stem and leaf diagram. The mean waiting time of all 10 patients that morning is 16 minutes. The range of waiting times is 26 minutes. Patient P waits longer than patient Q. Okay, that is P is greater than Q. Find the waiting time for each of patient P and patient Q. Okay, so and we have the P. Okay, this means 10 minutes, right? So this is gonna be 21, 25, 25. 10, 12, 19, and 1 and 4 respectively. Okay, let's start from the range. So since the range is given as 26, so we can say 26 equals the longest waiting time, right, L, minus the shortest. So the shortest is 1, right? So we can now get the longest waiting time here. So this would be L equals 26 plus 1. Okay, so this will be 27. Okay, so but we need to get the second number, right? So of course this is gonna be the value of our P because it is the longest waiting time, right? So that means the second waiting time Q, okay, cannot be greater than 27 because from here the longest waiting time is 27. Okay, so we can say P equals 27. Now let's find the value of Q. So we can actually get the value of Q from the information given to us about the mean. Sorry, excuse me. So we know that the mean, okay, is the addition of all the 10 numbers divided by 10. Okay, so and the mean is given to us as 16, right? So we can say 16 equals 1 plus 4 plus 10 plus 12 plus 19 plus 21 plus 25 plus 25 again plus the ninth one, which is 27, plus the 10th one, which is Q. Okay, so everything divided by 10. Okay, so you have 16 equals, if you add up the numbers in the numerator, you should get 144 plus Q over 10. So if we cross multiply, so this is gonna be 160 equals 144 plus Q, and 160 minus 144 equals Q, and the value of Q is 16. Okay, so that means P equals 27 minutes, the longest waiting time, and Q equals 16 minutes. So let's go to the next question. Question 7. The diagram shows a parallelogram. The parallelogram has the same perimeter as a circle with radius 4 meters. Okay, so it means the perimeter of the parallelogram, let's say P, equals the circumference of the circle, let's say C, right? So from here, what will be the perimeter of this parallelogram? The perimeter is the addition of all the given sides, right? So 6.51 here, opposite sides are equal. So that means for the parallelogram, the perimeter will be 2x plus 2 multiply 6.51, right? So that will be 13.02 equals, then the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r, right? So and the radius is 4, so that will be 8 pi. Okay, so if you substitute the 8 pi, that is 8 multiplied by 3.142, okay, so we can actually write 2x plus 13.02 equals 25.1327. So if you solve for x, you see that 2x equals 25.1327 minus 13.02. So that leaves you with 12.1127. If you divide both sides by 2, so the value of x is approximately 6.06. So that will be the value of x which we have shown. Okay, so part B. The floor of a room is in the shape of this parallelogram. It costs $18 per square meter to tile the floor. Calculate the total cost of tiling the floor. So we need to get the area. So the area of this parallelogram denoted by A is base times height. Okay, but in this case the height is missing, so we need to use SOHCAHTOA, okay, to get the value of the h. The base is obvious, 6.51. okay, so from here we know that using this one, this is opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse, right? So from here we can say cos 36 equals h over 6.06. So if you cross multiply, so the value of h equals 6.51. okay, so you can now come back here. Sorry, now let's actually solve this. I think that's the base. Okay, so let's cross multiply. Okay, so we have h, okay, to be equal to 6.06 multiplied by cos 36. okay, so that will be the height here. So we can substitute the whole of this into the formula. So the area A equals the base, which is 6.51 multiplied by the height. So the whole of this is now the height, so which is 6.06, okay, multiplied by cos 36 degrees, right? So if you input this into your calculator, okay, so it will be approximately 31 point, okay, no, let's see, okay, this one, okay, you can take this one bit by bit. You can firstly do this, okay, if you want, but I like to do everything at once. Okay, so input this into your calculator, so you should get the area to be 31.9162 squared meter. That will be the total area. Okay, now we cannot get the total, that will be the area of the parallelogram, right? So you cannot get the total cost. Okay, so the total cost, so that's gonna be the cost per one, which is given as $18, okay, per square meter. So 18 multiplied by 31.9162 square meter. So this gives the total cost, right, which is $574. So we put 574. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Question 8 is on transformation. On the diagram, draw the image of shape A after a translation by the vector 1, -7. Okay, so the best practice is to always label the vertices. So for shape A, I will label it as P, Q, R, and S. Okay, good. Okay, so the coordinates now, we have x to be equal to 1 and y to be equal to -7. So we move to the right once, okay, and you come down 7 times. So let's start with P. So it will be 1, okay, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we have P prime to be here now. Of course, the gap between P and Q is 1 step, so we can obviously put Q prime here, okay, because if you count from here 1, then go down 7 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it will be there. Then the next one is point R. So from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 will be here. Okay, so of course the other one is obvious now, so it's going to be here. Okay, so that is for point S. You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this will be R prime, and this is S prime. So you can join them together. So this is what you have here. Sorry, let's take that again. Okay, good. Then join this. Let's join this. And finally, let's connect these two together. So this is the image of shape A after a translation by 1 comma -7, right? So this is what we have here. Okay, let's go to Roman figure 2. So they draw the image of shape A after a reflection and the line y equals x plus 1. So we are still transforming shape A in the line y equals reflection now, y equals x plus 1. Okay, so we need to have our mirror line. So the mirror line is y equals x plus 1. So if you compare this with the general equation of a straight line, you see that y equals mx plus c. So in this case, the gradient is 1 over 1 and the intercept on y-axis is 1. So that means we have a point here. So the gradient, you rise 1 and you move forward 1. So another one will be here. So you can see this will be y equals x plus 1. Okay, so you can just draw the straight line here. Okay, so let's scroll down a little bit. It's going to come like this. I think, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, this. So you can take it from here and it goes this way. Okay, good. So that will be the mirror line. Okay, so you may want to extend this a little bit. Good. So that is the mirror line. So shape A now is a diagonal line. Okay, so if you count from each of the vertices, that is point P, Q, R, and S respectively. So let's count. Let's start with S. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need to count 6 like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so you have point S prime prime here. Okay, so for this one, you have 1, that's point R. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have R prime prime here, R prime prime. Okay, so for Q, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you have point, I think I counted Q, if I'm not mistaken. So this should be Q prime prime. Okay, so for point P, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it should be here. Okay, so this will be P prime prime. So we can connect the points together now. So this and this, then this and this, then this and this, okay, and this and this. Okay, so one thing you should know is that corresponding sides should be facing each other. So look at SR here. Okay, this is SR. So this is S prime prime and R prime prime. Okay, they should be facing the mirror line, just like you looking into the mirror. So your face should be reflecting, and that is why SR is being reflected here. Okay, so let's go to the next one. You have part B. Describe fully the single transformation that maps shape A onto shape B. So A onto B. Okay, so let's try to get the corresponding point first. Okay, so P is here. Okay, I think this should be P prime prime prime, and this should be Q prime prime prime. Okay, then this side should be R prime 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 by comparison, and this should be s prime prime prime. Okay, so if you observe it very well, okay, let's see. I think I'm good. So this is a kind of rotation, right, towards this direction. Okay, so if you see now, this is PQ, and PQ is now tilted downward anti-clockwise. Okay, so it's just like you rotating it like this. So that is why SR is now up here, which is S prime prime prime, R prime prime prime. Okay, so it is rotation anti-clockwise. Okay, now we need to get the center of rotation and we need to get the angle of rotation. So to do this, we need to get the center of rotation, right? We need to bisect two corresponding points. Okay, so using a pair of compasses and a ruler, so we can actually do that, right? Good. So I have a pair of compasses here. Okay, so let's connect two corresponding points together. So I have Q and Q prime prime. So let's take this and this. Good. Okay, so we need to bisect this line. Sorry. So let's pick this now. So we need to connect this. Okay, can rotate it. So center at Q prime prime. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's take a radius that is a little bit more than half. So let's check. Okay, I think I can reduce it more. Okay, good. So I can now draw the arc here. Okay, then on the other side I need to do the same thing here. Okay, so let's draw the arc here. Good. Okay, so we take the same radius. Okay, then let's put the center at Q now. Okay, let's set it very well. Then we can now intersect the two arcs here. The first one is here. Okay, then I think I can do the same thing for this one here. Okay, good. So I have the first one here. I can now draw the perpendicular bisector of this line. Okay, good. So I can just draw it once and for all. So from here, I can draw a kind of a straight line first, which I can adjust later. Okay, but let's just have something like this for now. Good. And I can turn this to a broken line. I think this one is fine for now. Okay, another thing we could do, so we have the first perpendicular bisector, so I can call this one P1. So let's get two corresponding points. Okay, I think I can take S and S prime prime prime. Okay, so let's connect them together and also bisect them. So we have this. Okay, so I'm supposed to use a ruler, but since I can draw with my tool, okay, so it's okay like this. Okay, but for you have to make use of a pencil and a ruler. So one more time, let's bisect. Let's get this perpendicular bisector of this line as well. So I have the two corresponding points. So let's take a distance that is a little bit more than half of the line. Okay, so it's gonna be something here. Okay, good. So we need to arc up and down, right? So let's draw an arc. Okay, I think we are good here. The first one here. Okay, then we can actually come up here and do the same thing. Okay, so it's this one. So let's put a sign on this so that we know the actual arc. Okay, so you put the center here and let's intersect the two arcs. Okay, so the first one has been intersected. It has been intersected here. Okay, which is this point now. So let's put something here. Okay, to denote it. Good. So it's this particular one here. So the same radius. Let's intersect this one too. Okay. So we have this now. So let's draw the perpendicular bisector. Let's join them together. So from here we have the straight line. Okay, so which we can always adjust. Okay. Okay, so this is the second perpendicular bisector. So let's say P2, P2. Okay, this one. Okay, so where they intersect, it is the center of rotation, and you see two of them, they intersect here. Okay, that is x equals -2, y equals 6. So my center of rotation is -2, 6. So from here now, I can now get the angle of rotation. Okay, so to do this, I can just pick my ruler. Okay, so and let's see how it goes. Okay, let's connect this to two corresponding points and let's see how it goes from there. Okay, so I'm gonna take from R to the center of rotation. Okay, let's take it like this. So this is center of rotation. Okay, to any point. So I want to use point R now. Good. So let's adjust it now. Okay, so if you place it on R here and on the center of rotation, right? Okay, I think I need to reduce my ruler so you can see it clearly. Good. Okay, good. So, and you may want to draw a line. Okay, so I think I can change the color for you to see clearly. Red now. Okay, so from R to R prime, you can draw a line here now, or from R to the center of rotation rather. Okay, I think this one is better. So then from the center of rotation to R prime, you can see it is 90 degrees. Okay, so previously I wanted to make use of a ruler and put a protractor. Okay, but from what you can see here, so that means from the center of rotation, right? So you can actually see that there is what? There is 90 degree between R and R prime prime prime. So from here it is 90 degrees. So we have necessary information now. So we can just say the name of the transformation is rotation, right? Is rotation by 90 degrees anti-clockwise, and you could as well say 270 degrees clockwise. Okay, and center of rotation is -2, 6. Okay, so that is pretty easy, right? Let's move to the next question. Question 9. The diagram shows the speed time graph for part of a car journey. Okay, so this is what you have here. Find the total distance traveled in the 25 minutes. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to firstly convert, okay, the unit so that you can have the same unit. Okay, because we are dealing with 25 minutes. Okay, you want to find the total distance traveled in 25 minutes, but from the speed is given in kilometer per hour. Okay, so now let's convert 80 kilometer per hour. So 80 kilometer, okay, per hour, okay, is h like this, right? Per hour. So you can actually replace an hour with 60 minutes because we want to have everything in minutes. So this equals 80 over 60 minute now. Okay, so we are left with kilometers. So this cancel this. So we have 4/3 kilometers per minute now. So this is in minutes. Okay, so for the second one, you can do the same thing. So this is kilometers per minute. Okay, for the second one, we have 60 kilometers per hour. So which is the same as 60 kilometers. So let's replace an hour with 60 minutes. Okay, so you see that 60 minutes cancel 60 minutes. We have 1 kilometer, okay, 1 kilometer per minute now, right? So now we are good to go. So the total distance covered in the 25 minutes is the area covered under this slope, right? So we have two shapes. We have the trapezium, and we have this triangle, right? So for the trapezium, okay, so we take these two sides, this and this, as the two parallel sides, this and this. Okay, so and the height is from here, from 0 to 15, right? So the first one will be from 0 to 60, which is 1 kilometer per minute, okay, instead of 60 kilometers per hour. Okay, so this will be 1 now, and this will be from here to here will be 4/3 kilometers per minute, right? So the area will be so this is A now. A equals 1, that's kilometer per minute. Okay, and B equals 4/3 kilometers per minute, right? And the height now, H, equals from 0 to 15 minutes, right? So everything has to be in minutes. So the area now equals 1 plus 4/3, that's the addition of the two parallel sides, multiplied by 15, that's the height, divide 2. That is the area of a trapezium. Remember, area of a trapezium equals to the addition of the two parallel sides, A plus B, multiplied by the perpendicular height, divide 2. So that's what I used there. Okay, plus, so that's from 0 to 15 minutes, plus the area of the triangle, which covers the from 15 minutes to 25 minutes. So which is base times height. So the base here is 25 minus 15, which is 10. And the height is from here to here, which is 4/3 kilometers per minute. So the base, okay, so the base is 25 minus 15, that is 10, multiply the height, which is 4/3. Okay, so divide everything, divided by 2. So you can actually say multiply by 1/2. They are the same. Okay, so from here, if you do this, okay, this particular one here, okay, gives 17.5 plus, and the whole of this one gives 6.6667. Okay, so if you add the two together, it is approximately 24.2, correct to 3 significant figures. Question 10. Find the nth term of each sequence. So what is the term to term rule here? It is minus 8. Okay, minus 8. So the nth term equals minus 8 multiplied by n. So let's see if this is enough to be our nth term. When n is 1, we get minus 8 times 1. That is minus 8. But minus 8 is not the first term here. So what do we need to add to 8 to give us 17? So obviously that will be plus 25. So that means the nth term is minus 8n plus 25. Minus 8n plus 25. So sequence B, let's say the term to term rule. 12 minus 3, you have 9. 27 minus 12, you have 15. So 48 minus 27, you have 21. 75 minus 48, you have 27. Okay, you can see that we don't have the 10 to 10 rule is not constant, okay, at the first difference. This is first difference. So let's find the second difference. Of course, this is not it is not a geometric sequence, or it's not a geometric sequence, of course, right? Okay. So let's see if we can get the second difference. Probably it is a quadratic sequence. A quadratic sequence gives us constant 10 to 10 rule at the second difference. Okay, so 15 minus 9, that's gonna be 6. 21 minus 15, 6. 27 minus 21, 6. So you can see that at the second difference we have common difference. So that means this sequence is a quadratic sequence, and once you have a quadratic sequence, so your nth term will be the common difference, which is 6, multiplied by n squared divided 2. So this is the first thing you should write, and which is 3n squared. So the next thing we need to do, we use this to generate another sequence. So when n is 1, so we have the first term to be 3. Okay. And when n is 2, okay, you have 2 times 2, 4, 4 times 3, 12, right? Okay, and when n is 3, 3 times 3, that is 9, 9 times 3, 27, okay, so and so on and so forth, right? So, mind you, this is the initial one, okay? So if you subtract the new sequence, okay, this, okay, from the actual sequence, which is this, okay, you see that you have 0 all true. So that means there's no new sequence. So this should be enough to be our nth term. Okay, so if you try it, you see that this is what you're gonna get, right? And you can see that we are getting the same thing already. So it is 3n squared. So let's go to the next question. That will be question 11. Okay, the table, okay, the table shows some values for y equals x to the power of 3 minus 2x plus 3. Where appropriate, values of y are given correct to 2 decimal places, right? Okay, so part A, complete the table. Okay, so if you just input substitute x equals negative 1.5 into this, so you get the value of y to be 2.63, and also substitute x to be equal to 1.5, so you should get 3.38. So super easy. Then part B, draw the graph of y equals x to the power of 3 minus 2x plus 3 within this given domain, right? So what we need to do is to plot each of these values, okay, on the grid. So the first one is when x equals negative 2, okay, y equals negative 1, okay. So negative 2, negative 1. So the first one is here, okay. So the second one, when x equals negative 1.5. So this is the middle here. So y equals 2.6. So that's y equals positive 2.6. So the middle here, then 2.6 is here, up here. Okay. So the next one, minus 1 against 4. Minus 1 against 4. So let's go on. Minus 1 against 4. Good. Then the next one is minus 0.5 against 3.9. Okay. Minus 0.5. Minus 0.5. Okay. Against 3.9. Somewhere here. Okay. Then the next one is 0 against 3. We have the point here. Okay, then we have 0.5 against 2.1. 0.5 against 2.1. Okay, and we have 1 against 2. 1 against 2. And okay, we have 1.5 against 3.4. 1.5 against 3.4. So let's go up a little bit. 1.5 against 3.4. Sorry, not here. 3.4 here. Okay, and lastly, we have 2 against 7. 2 against 7. So I'm gonna join this with a freehand sketch, okay, and I'm going to show you the output. Okay, this is the outcome. I'm done with the freehand sketch. Okay, so in your own case, you can make use of a French curve. Okay, you can use a French curve. It helps you draw it better, right? Okay, so let's go to the next question. So part C, by drawing a suitable straight line on the grid, solve the equation. Solve the equation x to the power of 3 minus 2.5x plus 1 equals 0. Okay, so the first thing you need to do, we need to write this equation, okay, in form of this, okay, so that will help us to draw a suitable straight line. So what we need to do now is how to write this one in form of x to the power of 3 minus 2x plus 3. Okay, so that is what we need to do. So if you look at what we have presently, we need to subtract 0.5x. Sorry, we need to add 0.5x to both sides so that this 2.5x can become, this negative 2.5x can become negative 2x. Okay, so subtract 0.5x, 0.5x from both sides. So, sorry, add rather, we need to add because we want this to drop. So add 0.5x, so add 0.5x to both sides. So now this will leave us with x to the power of 3 minus 2x plus 1 equals 0.5x. So the next thing we need to do is we need to make this 1 to be 3. So that means we need to add 2 to both sides. Add 2, add 2. So this becomes x to the power of 3 minus 2x plus 3 equals 0.5x plus 2. So you see that the whole of this, okay, equals y, okay, from the given, from the beginning, you can see this is y. Okay, so that means what we have now is y equals 0.5x plus 2. So we need to draw this line. Okay, that will give us 3 values from here. So if you compare this with the general equation of a straight line, see that the gradient, or we can write 0.5 as 1 over 2x then plus 2. You see that m is the gradient, 1 over 2. Rise once, move forward twice. Okay, and the intercept on the y-axis is 2. Okay, so let's go back to the grid. So the intercept on the y-axis is 2. So that means we have a point here. Okay, and from the gradient, okay, m equals 1 over 2. You rise once, then you move forward 2 times. So let's see something like this, 2 times. Okay, so rise once, move forward 2 times. So it's gonna be a kind of here, then this is 1 and 2. Okay, so that will be, we need to connect this line together. So this another one will be here, okay, then here. So good. So this is the straight line we need to connect together. So let's connect the straight line together from here, then here like this. Good. See, good, we are good. Now the three answers lies here. So the first one is here, so the second one is here, and the third one is here. So we need to trace these to the values of x, and that will give us the corresponding answers. And mind you, this is an estimate, okay, because you are sketching, okay. So let's trace this one down. This one is almost here. So this particular one, so this is minus 1.5 point, this is minus 1. So this is minus 1.5. Then, okay, I think the best thing we could do is to get the value of a line. To get the value of a line, okay, so one unit here is, each unit is 1. So 1 divided by 20 lines. So that will give you 0.05, right? So that means each line is 0.05. So let's just count the number of lines we have up to this spot and multiply by 0.05. It will give us the value, okay? So this will be 10, 20, 30. This is about 31, 32, 33, 34, about 35. So take your calculator, okay, and do 0.05 times 35. So that is negative. So this one is negative 1.75, okay. Then for this one, let's trace it down here, somewhere around here. So don't forget, each line is 0.05. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so take your calculator again and do 0.05 times 8. So this will be 0.4. So this is 0.4. Okay, and another one you could do is this one here. Okay, let's take it down from here like this particular spot, come here. So in between this, so this is 10, 20, 25, let's say 27 times 0.05 times 27. So it gives 1.35. Okay, so these are the answers. Negative 1.75. Okay, so we have negative 1.75. I think the other gave 0.4. And the last one 1.35. So these are the values. Okay, I think should be the previous one. Yeah, you get from the graph. Okay, good. So let's go to the next question. That's question 12. Okay, so we have the circle geometry. A, B, and C lie on a circle. Center O. DE is a tangent to the circle at C. Okay, at C is a tangent. Good. That will help us a lot. Angle ABC equals 52 degrees. Okay, as you can see here, and angle BCE equals 65 degrees. Find the value of x. Give a geometrical reason for your answer. So here we can say x equals 104, because this is angle at center, is twice angle at circumference. So x equals 52 times 2. So we can say x equals 104 degrees, because angle at the center is twice the angle is twice the angle at the circumference. Okay, so now we need to find the part B. Find the value of y. Okay, so to get the value of y, okay, so don't forget this is 104. That is angle at center. Okay, So to get the value of y, we can actually use alternate segments, okay, because the angle between a tangent DCE and a chord, which is 65, okay, equal to an alternate angle, which is this, okay, equal to this angle, okay. These two angles are alternate, and alternate angles, okay, are equal. So this, I mean the whole of this one from here to here, okay. So this is how we can actually get this value of y easily, right? So we can get this small angle here, that is angle CAO, okay. Angle CAO, okay, equals angle ACO, because they are base angles of this isosceles triangle. Let me put double arc here, two arcs, okay, good. So to get this one now, I can do 180, because these two base angles of isosceles triangle, okay, and 104 add up to 180 degrees. So I can say 180, okay, minus 104, okay. So that's divide by 2, okay, gives each of this angle. So that means this will be 38 degrees, this will be 38 degrees. Now I can now use the alternate angles in alternate segments, okay. So equal, so that means 65 degrees equals 38 degrees plus y, because this angle, okay, and the whole of this angle are angles in alternate segment. Super easy, right? So that means y equals 65 minus 38 degrees, right, which equals 27. So pretty easy. So y equals 27 degrees. So let's go to the next question. That will be question 13. So we need to simplify this. So how do we simplify? Let them have common denominator. So I can say 7 over 2m. So let's multiply this by 8m, multiply by 8m, plus for this one 3 over 8m. So now let's multiply by 2m now. 2m, 2m. 7 times 8m, 56m over 16m squared, plus 6m over 16m squared. Now you have 56 add 6. That's gonna be 62m over 16m squared. So if you simplify this, you should get 2 can go 31 over 8. M cancel 1m, so you have 31 over 8m. So this is what you have as the final answer. So let's go to next question, question 14a. Carlos invests $24,000 at a rate of 3.2% per year compound interest, okay? Calculate the value of his investment at the end of 4 years. So from here, we can say the principal, the starting money is 24,000. Then the rate R equals 3.2%, which is equal to 0.032. Okay, then the time T equals 4 years. Okay, and N equals 1, because it is interest is paid once in a year. Okay, so the formula A, the amount, okay, of the investment after 4 years equals the principal multiplied by 1 plus R over N to the power of N multiplied by T. Okay, so let's substitute the values. So A equals 24,000, okay, into 1 plus R, which is 0.032 over 1, okay, multiplied by 4 times 1, 4. Okay, so the amount, if you input this into your calculator, that is 1.032 to the power of 4, then multiply by 24,000, you're gonna get 27,223. 27,223. Okay, so part B, Carlos buys a painting for X dollars. He sells the painting for $40,870. He makes a profit of 34%. Calculate the value of his profit. Okay, so the easiest way to do this, he buys it as X dollars, right? That is the cost price. So remember, the cost price is always at 100%, right? That is the cost price. Now, for Carlos to make a profit of 34%, so that means at 134%, okay? So the price is 40,870, right? Okay, so we can now cross multiply by this. Okay, so we are just going to have 134 multiplied by x equals 40,870 multiplied by 100. So if you divide both sides by 134, okay, 134, so the value of x equals 30,500, right? So this is the cost price and this is the selling price. So the profit, okay, will be the selling price SP minus the cost price CP, so which is 40,870 minus 30,500, and the final answer is 10,317. Okay, part C. Carlos also buys a car with a value of $32,500. The value of the car decreases exponentially by 23% each year. Find a formula for the value V in dollars of the car at the end of n years. So y equals ab to the power of x, right? So y equals the new value, okay? So which in this case it is the v. A is the actual or initial value, okay, which for now, let's see. Okay, I think we can substitute it, which is 32,500 here, right? Okay, and b equals, since it is exponential decay, it is decreasing exponentially, so b equals 1 minus r. If it were to be exponential growth, so b will be 1 plus r. That's just the difference there. So we can use this formula for exponential growth and exponential decay. So the only difference there is b equals 1 minus r when it decreases exponentially, and b equals 1 plus r when it increases exponentially. Okay, so and if you substitute this, so b equals 1 minus r, right? And r equals 23%, which is 0.23, right? Good. So that means b equals 1 minus 0.23, which is equal to 0.77. Okay, so what do we need again? Then x is the time, which is equal to n according to this question now. Okay, so the new value, which is v, equals a, which is 32,500 into the value of b now is 0.77 to the power of n. Okay, so we can say v equals 32,500. Zero is missing here. Okay, multiply by 0.77 to the power of n. Good. So that will be the solution. So let's go to the next question. Question 15. The diagram shows field A, B, C, D in the shape of a quadrilateral. BD is a straight path across the field. Calculate BC. Okay, so BC is here. So we can use cosine rule. Okay, so that will be, okay, let's scroll down. So we can actually use BC equals the square root. Okay, so let's write BD squared plus DC squared. Okay, I want to believe you can still recollect the cosine rule. So it's going to be BD squared plus DC squared minus 2 times the product of BD and DC, then cos D, that is cos 140 degrees. Okay, so I'm gonna put the square root later. Okay, then minus 2 times BD, okay, times DC, then times cos D. Okay, so that is what we're going to use. Okay, and everything will be in square root, so we can actually put the values there now. So this will be 300 squared plus 112 squared minus 2 into 300 into 112, then times cos 140 degrees. So everything under the square root. Okay, if you input this into your calculator, so you should get 392 meters approximately. Okay, then part B, calculate angle DBC. So we can actually use sine rule. So 112 over sine of this angle DBC equals 392. So this is 392 over sine of 140 degrees. So that is the sine rule. Okay, so we can just say 112 over the sine of the corresponding angle sine DBC equals 392 over sine 140. So if you cross multiply, okay, and solve for sine DBC, so this will be equal to 112 multiply sine 140 divide 392. Okay, so if you continue, so you see that sine DBC equals 0.1836. Then if you take sine inverse of both sides, then angle DBC equals sine inverse of 0.1836. So the angle is 10.6 degrees. Okay, so part C, the total area of the field ABC is 35,900 square meter. Work out the length of the shortest distance D to AB. Okay, so the length of the shortest distance from D to AB is the perpendicular bisector. Okay, the perpendicular height from D to line AB here. So it's going to be a perpendicular line. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to firstly get the area, okay, of triangle ABD. Okay, so when we get to the area of triangle ABD, then we can find this seems to be the height now. Okay, h, that is the shortest distance from D to line AB, is the value is h, so we can get it now. So the first thing is to get the area of triangle ABD. So from the given information here, so the total area of the field ABCD is 35,900 square meter. That is the area of triangle ABD and triangle BDC, okay, add up to the given value, right? So that is what it means. So once it's easy for us to get the area of triangle BDC. So when we get the area of triangle BDC, then we subtract it from 35,900 square meters, okay, and that will give us the area of triangle ABD. So the area of triangle BDC, okay, equals here, well, the area will be this side multiply that is 300 times 112, so multiply the sine of angle between them divided by 2. So that is the formula we are going to use to get the area of triangle BDC. So it's going to be 300 multiplied by 112 multiplied by the sine of angle between them, which is 140 degrees, okay, divide 2. So this gives 10,798.83 square meters. So this will be the area, okay, of triangle BDC. So now, since we know that the triangle, the area of these two triangles add up to 5,900, then we can say that, so let's write down a little bit. So we can say the area of triangle ABD equals, then we'll do 35,900 minus this answer, 10,798.83, so which is equal to 25,101.2 square meters, right? So this is the area of triangle ABD. Okay, but from the area of triangle ABD, so we can get the height now. The height is the shortest distance from D to line AB. So the base is 180. Okay, I want to find the height. So that means we can say that this 25,101.2 equals the base. The base is 180 times the height, which is the shortest distance from D to line AB, divided by 2. Okay, so you can actually solve for h, okay, and the value of h equals to approximately 279 if you solve for h. So first of all, you need to cross multiply. So this will give you 50,202.4 equals 180h. So if you divide both sides by 180, you get this. Okay, so super easy. So let's go to the next question, question 16. The histogram shows information about the masses of some coconuts. The masses are classified into 4 categories, A, B, C, and D respectively, and you have the histogram. A shows that there are 10 coconuts in category D. Okay, so histogram, we have this frequency density, we have the masses, okay, so but we don't know the frequencies, but there's a relationship between the frequency density, okay, so the frequency density denoted by FD equals the frequency F over the class size, okay. So now the frequency is the number of times, okay, of the number of coconuts in this category, okay, in this case. Now, so for category D is from here to here, okay. So the class size is 1.6 minus 1.35, okay. So I can actually say, let's make F the subject of the formula. The frequency, okay, equals to frequency density multiplied by the class size. Okay, in this case, the frequency density is this line here, which is 40. So we have 40 multiplied by the class size. So the class size is 1.6 minus 1.35. That is 1.6 minus 1.35. Okay, which is this one is equal to 40 multiplied by 0.25, and that is 10. Okay, so there are 10 coconuts in category D. So let's go to part B. 2 of the coconuts from those in category C and category D are chosen at random. So this is our sample point now. So find the probability that both are from category D. Now, so we need to know, we already know that in category D we have 10. So we have 10 coconuts. So we need to find the number of coconuts in category C, okay? So we can do that. We can say category C. So implies, so that's the frequency there. F equals the frequency density multiplied by the class size. So which is equal to, let's say, the frequency density for category C. So the frequency density is here, 150 plus 20, that is 170. Okay, so it's going to be 170 multiplied by the class size. So the class size is from 1.35, is from 1.25 to 1.35. So it will be into bracket 1.35 minus 1.25. So if you input this into your calculator, you should get 17. So that means there are 17 coconuts in category C and there are 10 coconuts in category D. So the total equals 10 plus 17 equals 27. So the probability that they are both from category D, so will be 10 over 27 multiplied by, then the second one will be 9 over 26. So this will give you 5 over 39. Okay, to give you 5 over 39. So as you can simplify that. So let's go to the part C. Calculate an estimate of the mean mass of the coconut. So it is an estimate. This is very easy. So for a group data, the mean is always the summation of the product of the x and the frequencies over summation of the frequencies. The x is the mid value of the class limit, right? Of each class limit, class interval rather. Okay. So if you come here, I think we can form a table. Okay, we need to have, okay, let's say we can have something like, let's draw some lines here. I think we can make it, okay, let's make it like this for the x, this for the frequencies, and maybe this for the products. Okay, so let's draw something like this. Okay, so this will be the x. Okay, this will be the frequency, and this will be the product of x and the frequency. So for this x now is going to be made value for each of the category. For category A, is going to be 0.9 plus 1.1 divide 2. Okay, so it's going to be 0.9 plus 1.1, okay, divide 2. So the value of x here is 1. Okay, so for the second one is going to be 1.1 plus 1.25 divide 2. So that will be, okay, I think I'll just write 1.175. Okay, that will be for category B. So for category C, is going to be 1.35 plus 1.25 divide 2. So that will be 1.3. 1.3. Okay, I think I can draw underline here so to demarcate them. And the final one, of course, it is for category D. So let's see, that will be 1.6 plus 1.35. Okay, then divide 2. So that will be 1.475. Okay, so now we need to get the frequency, right? So we know for category D, we already found that to be 10. For category C, we found that to be 17 while we were solving the probability question. Okay, so now we need to get for the frequencies for categories A and B respectively. So we use the same formula. So the frequency equals to frequency density times C, right? So we still use the same procedure. So for category A, so the frequency density is here, okay, and the class size is 1.1, okay, minus 0.9, okay, then multiply by, this is a line is 5 here, right? So this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, okay, so that is 40 here, right? So 40 multiplied by the gap here. So that's what you need to do. So I'll just put the final answers for you. You already know how to calculate the frequencies from the two examples I did for you. So this is gonna be 6 and this is gonna be 15. Okay, now the product, this will be 1 times 6, 6. So this one will be 1.175 multiplied by 15. This will be 17.63. Then 1.3 multiplied by 17, that's going to be 22.1. Okay, and this one, 1.475 multiplied by 10, that will be 14.75. Okay, so the summation of the product of f and x, okay, if you add them together, you should get 60.48. Okay, that is the total of this column, right? And the sum of the frequencies also is 48. So divide 48, and the final answer is 1.26. 1.26. So let's go to the next question. Question 17. So we need to expand this. So let's expand these two first. So the expansion, okay, will give you 2x squared plus 8x plus 3x plus 12. Okay, so we can simplify this to give you 2x squared plus 11x plus 12. Then let's expand it with x minus 2 again. Okay, so this will give you 2x cubed plus 11x squared plus 12x. Okay, then let's go to this now. Minus 2 times this, so minus 4x squared minus 22x minus 24. So if you simplify, so this will give us 2x cubed, then this and this will give us plus 7x squared, then this and this will give us minus 10x, then minus 24. So question 18. In the diagram, OA is parallel to CB. OA is parallel to CB. That means they are moving in the same direction. Okay. So, and OA ratio CB equals 4 to 3. OA equals A and OB equals B. Find AB in terms of A and B. Okay, so you can say AB equals AO plus OB, okay, like this, okay. okay, which is equal to OB minus OA, okay, which is B minus A. Part B, M is the midpoint of OC. So if M is the midpoint of OC, that means M is here and these two are equal. OM and MC are equal. Okay, good. So, but from the question, we are told that OA over CB equals 4 over 3. So you can say OA over CB equals 4 over 3. Okay, but we know that OA is A, so we can actually replace it. So we can say A over CB equals 4 over 3. Okay, and this will give us CB to be equal to 3 over 4A if you cross multiply and make CB the subject of the formula, right? So we have CB now. Okay, so we can get OC. Okay, because what we want to get now, we want to get the value of AM. Okay, so which is this one we want to get from here, AM. So for us to get AM, so we need OA and OM. So for us to get OM, we need to know OC and divide by 2. So now we can get OC now. Let's demarcate this one. So if you look at it very well, OC equals OB plus BC, right? So you can write OC equals OB plus BC. Okay, so but you see that BC is moving in opposite direction, right? Okay, so because we only have CB now, we're having BC opposite direction, so we can say OC equals OB then minus CB. Okay, so which is equal to OB is B minus CB. We found it to be this. This is CB, okay? That is 3 over 4A, right? Then we can get AM now, right? We can get AM. So the vector AM now equals AO plus OM, okay, which we can also write as, look at it now, so AM equals AO plus OM. So this one is moving in the opposite direction, so which we can rewrite as OM, because this will turn to minus, right? Then minus OA. Okay, so this is what we have now. Then if you substitute the values, OM will be half of OC, right? Good. So OM is half of OC. So this is OC. Okay, let me put it here. So from here now, OM, let me write it here for you. To be equal to half of this one now is going to be 1 over 2B minus 1 over 2 times 3 over 4A. That is 3 over 8A. So that will be OM, to be half. So it will be, let's write here now. So AM equals OM, which is 1 over 2B minus 3 over 8A, then minus OA. OA is A. So if you simplify this now, so you should get this to be 1 over 2b, then minus 1 times 8, 8 plus 3, 11, minus 11, okay, over 8a. So this will be the final answer, okay, but you may want to write a first, so it will be minus 11 over 8a, then plus 1 over 2b. Okay, so it's actually interesting. Question 19, solve the simultaneous equations. So this is y, so we can actually equate them. So we can have 3x squared minus 7x minus 6 equals 5 minus 2x. Then we can bring everything to left hand side. Yeah, that is, this one comes here, then this one comes here. So we have 3x squared minus 5x, then 3x squared minus 7x plus 2x, then minus 6 minus 5 equals 0. So from here, so this and this, you have 3x squared minus 5x minus 11 equals 0. Okay, so this is the quadratic equation we need to solve now. So from here, a equals 3, b equals negative 5, and c equals negative 11. Okay, so using the quadratic formula, which is x equals minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac everything over 2a. So if you key in all the values, you see that x equals, this will be minus negative 5 plus or minus square root of, I think I'll just put on b squared is 25, then minus 4 times 3 times negative 11. This will give you positive 132 straight away. In fact, this one will be positive 5 straight away. Okay, divide 2 times 3, 6. Okay, so we can actually split this into 2. This implies x equals 5 plus the square root of 25 plus 132. That will be 157 over 6. Okay, or x equals 5 minus square root of 157 over 6. Okay, so if you simplify this, it implies that the first one will be x equals 2.92 if you simplify this, or x equals negative 1.25 if you input this into your calculator. Okay, so now we need to find the value of y. So when x equals 2.92, okay, so you key in the value of x into that equation 1, which is y equals 5 minus 2x, in this case 2.92. So the final answer here is negative 0.84. Okay, so when x equals negative 1.25, okay, so y equals 5 minus 2 into minus 1.25, and y equals 7.5. So these are the values you get here. So when x equals 2.92, y equals negative 0.84, and when x equals negative 1.25, y equals 7.5. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Question 20. A solid metal prism has a mass of 4,810 grams, correct, to the nearest 10 grams. Okay, the density of the metal is 7.7 gram per centimeter cube, correct to 1 decimal place. Calculate the lower bound for the volume of the prism. Density equals mass over volume. Okay, thank you Cambridge for giving the formula. Density equals mass over volume. So for here, we need the lower bound for the volume. So that means we need to make the volume the subject of the formula. That implies the volume equals the mass over the density. But we need the lower bound for the volume. So the lower bound for the volume equals lower bound of the mass over upper bound of the density. So now we need to get the lower bound of the mass. So let's start with the mass. The mass is 4,810 and it is correct to the nearest 10 grams. So the next one will be 4,820 and the one before will be 4,800. So we need the lower bound. The lower bound is the midpoint here. Okay, the midpoint here, which is 4,805. So this one equals 4,805. So for the density, we have 7.7 and it's correct to 1 decimal place. The next one will be 7.8 and the one before will be 7.6. So we need the upper bound. So the upper bound will be the mid value here, which is 7.7 plus 7.8 divided 2, which is 7.75. So divide 7.75. Okay, so if you do this, you get the final answer to be 620. So that will be the approximation for the answer. So the last question, but not the least. Y is inversely proportional to this. It means y is inversely proportional to 1 over x plus 2 all squared. So which is y equals k over x plus 2, okay, squared. Okay, then we can now substitute the values of y. So when y equals 8, I think I can write here y equals 8. Then we need to find the value of k. Then x is giving us 3.5, then plus 2 all squared. Okay, so this gives 8 equals k over, scroll down a little bit, 5.5 squared. Okay, so the value of k equals 8 multiplied 5.5 squared. So k equals 242. 242. So that means this equation here, okay, we change to this particular one. So it becomes, I think I can demarcate it like this. So y equals, let's demarcate it. The value of k is now 242 over x plus 2 all squared. So also we are told that w is proportional to x. So let's demarcate it like this. So w is proportional to x. It means w equals cx. So now let's find the value of c when w equals 15. W equals 15 and x equals 90. Okay, so from here we know that 15 equals to 90c and c equals 15 over 90. So c equals 1 over 6. So we can now find y in terms of w. Okay, so it will be, I think we can write here now. So, sorry, we didn't complete this one. So this particular equation now, okay, we change to W equals C is 1 over 6x. Okay, so W equals to 1 over 6x. So we need to make x the solve formula. So it implies that x equals 6w. So that is what it implies. Now we need to substitute into this equation now, this particular one. I think I can remove this one now. So it will be y equals 242 over, instead of x now, so we have 6w, then plus 2, then everything squared. So this is the final answer. Y equals 2, let's write here, y equals 242 over 6w plus 2 all squared.